Today I'm at 210 Prince Street in Alexandria in front of the Swope house. Now, looking at this house today, you'd never guess that legend has it this home is one of the most notorious ghost houses in all of Alexandria. Now, this is a ghost who had a hatred for all things British. Check this out. This guy by the name of Michael Swope, he was the guy who owned the house. He was a battalion commander in the Revolutionary War. But on November 16, 1776, he was captured by British forces and was held captive until January 1781. Now, as you can imagine, his ordeal as a prisoner left a really bad taste in his mouth when it came to anything British. In 1784, Swope moved his family here to Alexandria, here on Prince Street. Now, here's a little real estate history backstory for you. In 1749, Alexandria was a startup seaport without much identity, if you can imagine that. Well, that year, they sold the first lot in Alexandria at auction. And so if you go on Cameron and North Lee Street, you can see a marker. For those who bought land, there were rules. You had to build within 2 years or forfeit the property that you just bought. Well, somebody paid 15 pistoles. Those are Spanish gold coins. But the landowner didn't build the land as required, and he lost his investment to William Ramsey, who was one of Alexandria City's first mayors. Now, Ramsey bought the property in 1754 and paid 36.5 pistols. So you see, owning a property in Alexandria has been a wise investment for a long time, as values increased quickly, even way back then. So when Swope started construction in 1784, he and his neighbor built this garden wall, I'll give you a picture later, to separate their properties. Amazing that wall still exists. Now, the house was constructed to Swope's every desire, with features like hand-carved moldings and the finest architecture from that era. And the stories that go that Swope loved the third floor best, and as well as his music room and library. See the third floor? Now, when he died in 1809, his body was hauled off to by carriage down off to Union Street, and was taken to Philadelphia by ship, where he was laid to rest with his family. But in 1859, a yellow fever epidemic swept through Philadelphia, and a health officer ordered that the Swope family vault be disinterred, and that's when the ghosting began. So the first report of the ghost, believed to be Swope, was in 1859. It's reported that music plays in the house when no one is at home, even though there are no musical instruments in the house. Now, a young woman reported seeing a man walking through the hall wearing an American uniform from the Revolutionary War. My favorite story, though, takes place in the 30s, when a real estate agent was showing the home to a British woman visiting from England. The tour of the home started in the root cellar, and then they walked through the grand living room and the opulent dining room on the first floor. Then they went upstairs to see the second floor bedrooms. As they made their way to the third floor, which, as you'll remember, is Swope's favorite floor, the British buyer got stopped in her tracks by this abrupt cold spot. The agent was able to pass without any problems at all, but the Brit, she wasn't able to go. So do you think it was Michael Swope? I'm Michelle Zelsman, Coldwell Banker Realty in Alexandria, Virginia, in historically haunted Alexandria.